Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again. Here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video comparing and talking about who would win between the Walking Dead two communities, Woodbury, of course, led by the Governor, and Terminus, led by Gareth, as far as we know. All right, good stuff. So I want to thank you guys for this topic. This was a viewer-requested topic. Sorry I didn't remember to write down the names of the people who suggested this one. It was more than just one person. A few people wanted to see this one. And I thought it was a good one. It was a good one to kind of compare and talk about who would win between the two and who was sort of a tougher group for Rick's group to deal with in The Walking Dead. Now, it also depends on sort of which timeline we pick for the characters of Woodbury, because Woodbury is a group that we saw go through a lot of changes throughout seasons 3, right up until the end, of course, to the point where it was basically no more. Terminus, we're going to assume, is the state we've seen it in right now. I think we can assume with reasonable certainty there's probably about 24 people at Terminus, about 20 or 30, I want to say, in terms of what we got to see, somewhere around there. Woodbury at one time had a lot more people. I think it had like, what, 50, 60 people, something like that. But the thing with Woodbury was most of them, or at least half of them, were not fighters. They were not. So let's say for Terminus, they have about 24. Let's say 24, because we don't know for sure. It could be a little more than that, could be less. It seemed like that much based on what we saw from season 4. And let's assume it was Woodbury when they had about the same, let's say about 25, 30 fighters. Some are a stretch. They might try to get them to be fighters, but they're not. We kind of saw that at the end of the season 4 finale where the Governor got a lot more of his people together, and some of them were just not prepared to fight against Rick's group. They were like, whoa, we're going to this prison against a bunch of psychos, and they're tough, and they've got strategy, and they're using gas, smoke grenades, tear gas, all kinds of different stuff on us. And we're really not prepared for this. So that is something we have to take into consideration. So let's say in terms of good fighters, Woodbury, let's say they have maybe 10 that are not that good and maybe 20 that were good, including the Governor, of course. Let's include Merle, because that was before, he kind of shifted over near the end of that. So let's include Merle, let's include Martinez, Schumpert, the Governor himself, Milton, the others, the strategy they used, which is pretty intelligent, actually. If you guys remember, where from Home, for example, season 3, they would use the walkers and they would kind of walker bomb whoever they were attacking, or when they attacked the group, they walker bombed them. They drove in a vehicle and released it with a whole bunch of walkers, really hungry walkers, ready to go. Maybe a couple dozen of them. Very, very useful tactic to really, if you're attacking another camp, screw up the camp's ability to survive and defend itself, because not only do they have to defend against the oncoming people now, but you have these walkers and they're ready to just wreak havoc, ready to break down the doors, and they hear all the gunfire going off, gets them all riled up, and it really adds to that strategy of what's going on, what's happening. Now, the Governor as a leader is too smart to fall for Terminus. There it is. Boom. Right there. He's too smart for it. Boom. There it is. I'm saying it. He may even have heard of Terminus before and been like, yeah, right. So why? So we can go there so you can take all our stuff? No. How about if the Governor, let's say the Governor ran out of stuff and never met Rick's group, heard about this Terminus location, he would attack them to try to get their stuff. So that's how something like this could go down, let's say, if Rick's group was never involved. I would love to see that kind of thing play out. So here's what I think. The Governor's got Milton, he's got Merle, he's got Martinez, Schumpert, and at least, I want to say, 15 other tough fighters that are good. Maybe another 10 or 20 on top of that are not so good. So let's say he brings about 30 with him and he attacks Terminus kind of out of the blue, which is what he does after stalking them for a while. They're not good at keeping watch, as we saw. They're not. So they've got about 24 people. The Governor's got a little bit of advantage in terms of people, but they know the territory. Let's say he walker bombs them just like he did with Rick. their place is locked down pretty good. I don't know how effective it would be. It would definitely create some kind of distraction while the governor's people are able to kind of circle around and kind of go in and go after them. Now, where they may run into trouble with, which what happened with Rick's group as well, if Merle wasn't there, they had trouble with being kind of caught in a trap. Now, if they were able to kind of all out, just get reconnaissance, know what they're dealing with, and then all out, just go in there and just take them down, and the people of Terminus were not prepared, or at least not as well prepared as they could have been, I think the governor's group might steamroll them. They might quickly just blitzkrieg, World War II, Nazi style, just boom right through, which was actually a strategy in World War II, if you guys have read up on World War II and that. And it basically, the blitzkrieg is essentially using speed to advance your position, to either flank your enemy, or basically just like a blitz in football, just get in there as fast as possible before the enemy can respond, which is something the governor does. Now, obviously, for sake of the plot, we couldn't have the governor just steamroll Rick's group and just kill them all. It would, the story would be over, and everyone would be like, "Oh, this sucks," or maybe they'd be okay with it, and it'd be something like Game of Thrones. And topic for another video. But anyway, so let's say that went down. Merle was in there. He had Merle on his side, which I think is important because later on he didn't, and I think that was a big thing. Merle was kind of like his second in command. When you saw him when he was waving the white flag and everything. Martinez, when Merle was there, was not the governor's second in terms of what I saw watching season 3. Merle was his second. Merle was like that tough guy that he would send out after Michonne. He didn't send out Martinez. He sent out Merle. Sick the dogs on her. Hounded. Go get her. Because he trusted him to that degree. He didn't send Martinez. So Merle was a tough dude, man. Tough dude, I gotta say. One of the toughest characters. What did he kill? Like 26 survivors or something? He killed more people than even live at Terminus, even how tough they are. So this is a tough one because when Rick's group got in there, yes, they caught them off guard, so the governor would be able to, but they did respond pretty well. They got up on those roofs really quickly as if they were instructed and had a strategy to do that. They knew the terrain, and they had the high ground, so they were able to get Rick's group under control. Now, if they try to do the same thing like that against the governor's group and try to get them under control and not actually hit them, they had a lot of weaponry. That's the thing. When they attacked, they had like rocket launchers. They were able to destroy the towers at the prison. So this is a tough one to say because it could go either way once they got in there. But I kind of want to go with, especially in terms of like you look at a group and you look at a strong leader. Who's a stronger leader, Gareth or the governor? Right? Merle's in there. Martinez, Shumpert, you've got the rocket launchers, you've got heavy assault rifles, and they don't bring, let's say they don't bring all the same sissies that they brought to attack Rick's camp. Not all of them, right? And keep in mind, like I said, due to the fact that we follow Rick's group, let's also factor in that the governor couldn't really, he couldn't annihilate the group. So let's say they go in there, you've got a strong leader, you've got Merle, everybody's good to go, the governor's got both eyes, let's say. Everybody like that, they're going in there, they're doing what they do best. They attack groups and they take their stuff, just like they did with those military guys. They blitzkrieged them, they weren't ready, they tricked them, and next thing you know, they just annihilated them. With Terminus, I want to say, I think it would be closer than that, and I think that Terminus, with the guys on the roofs and the high ground, would be able to take down at least a good number of the governor's people. But I do think that with the governor's blitzkrieg offensive style and scouting, because he scouts too, that's another thing he does. He scouts out to find out what's going on, and he sets it up for them, which we saw him do in Season 3 when we first met him in the first episode. This is a tough one to call, but I'm going to go with the governor's group. Depending on timing, though. It depends on timing, too. And it depends because, once they ran into a little resistance, if he brought everybody with him, the problem is that when you deal with a group, you've got group psychology mixed in there. You get one or two sissies in there, and they start cowering and running away. And then all of a sudden, everybody else turns suit and runs, right? And that's what we saw at the end of Season 3. So, yeah, that's possible. That's possible. That type of thing could happen with the governor if that was. But the key here is that Rick's group knew they were coming. That's the key, right? They knew the governor's group was coming and was ready, and they were prepared for it. They knew it was coming. They knew it was happening. And he did not have Merle on his side, which was a big difference, because Merle took down like 8 guys by himself, with the zombie herd that he brought. So that was pretty amazing. And so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm pretty confident that I think Merle's or the governor's group with Merle and everybody else near the beginning of season 3, had they never have encountered Rick and Michonne, let's say Michonne never cut the governor's eye and all that stuff, and they went after the people from Terminus and they caught him off guard and attacked because Rick's group caught him off guard. Even though Rick's group was like a few people and they didn't have any vehicles, they didn't have weaponry, they didn't have walker bombs, they didn't have anything like that. Whereas the governor's group was just armed, fully armed, right? I'm going to have to go with the governor's group. I'm going to have to go with Woodbury. I think he would take control, and I think he would get Gareth pretty quickly. And then the other people, even if they're on the roof and they're doing what they're doing, they're not used to actually hitting people. They're used to like herding people like cattle into positions, right? But, Merle is like poof, 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 poof. He just killed 4 guys. You know what I mean? Like, and the other people from Woodbury too. So I think I've defended my opinion on this one enough. I can see if some people would say, no, I got to go with Terminus because of how sissy the governor's group was at the end of season 3. And if Terminus was able to get some kind of inkling they were coming, then okay. Okay. This is a hypothetical thing, so you can go either way on this one. It's your opinion, whatever you think. Me personally, I think with the governor's group at its strongest with Merle, he definitely would have taken him down. Later on the season, let's say, without Merle, with the one eye, with all the sissies he attacked Rick's group with at the prison, it'd be that'd be closer. That would be closer, I think. But that might even be really close to a draw. But if it came down to the governor and Gareth, let's say, that's this type of one-on-one character versus character, I would have to go with the governor's group for sure. Because Martinez is tough too. So, and the others as well too. The governor had some tough customers. It's just, of course, we follow Rick's group. So you can't really have him just win and kill everybody in Rick's group. Unless, like I said, this is Game of Thrones, in which case that happens. But that's another show. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about that, about the discussion topic. Fun topic. Great suggestion. Thanks very much. Weigh in on it. Let me know what you think. Remember, if you think Terminus would take this, don't be shy. Write it. That's fine. This is just a hypothetical discussion here. And I can see that definitely the governor's group was pretty sissy at the end of season 3. It was for the plot, but, it makes sense. And he does get frustrated and want to just kill everyone and turn against his own guys if he has to. He's really competitive. He wants to win. He's really competitive. Really he wants that. He wants Michonne, and, well, everything else too. He wants it all. He wants the prison. He wants food. He wants Michonne. He wants supplies. He wants everything. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, as always, saying peace.